Good morning, everyone. The book of Revelation, or the Apocalypse, forms part of our first readings throughout the course of this week. I thought I'd just touch a little bit on this book because it's often misunderstood. The book of Revelation, the final book in the Bible, was written as reflections from St. John on experiences that he had, on visions that he had, on his experiences that he wanted to share with others of the time. And it was written in a code, if you like, in such a way that the Roman people who lived at the time would not see that they were being targeted, but in fact they were. Because the Jewish people would have had an understanding of it, but the Romans themselves wouldn't necessarily have identified with the values that were presented. So we've got to be very careful about looking at it as a prophetic book of our time. And I think a lot of people are very concerned about prophecies, what's going to happen, and people get involved in reading horoscopes and books and sort of saying, well, such and such is actually saying that. And you even get some church people who would refer to the Old Testament as being prophetic about our time. And it was never intended to do. It was intended for the people of the time. So just looking at some of the examples, for example, it talks about 144,000 people would be saved. The problem with that, and there are some churches that actually hold to that, there will only be 144,000, is that they themselves have had more than 144,000 members. And certainly there have been more than 144,000 Christians. Because 144 is a symbolic number. Remember, there are numbers in the Bible that are intended to give us an indication of magnitude, not necessarily value. So 12 would be a perfect number that Jesus chose. 12 times 12 gives 144. And then 1,000 would give you that there is a great number of perfect people who will be saved. It's very different from taking it literally. Then again, if we have a look, they talk about in the book of Revelation, the 7 hills. And people say, oh, that's the 7 hills of Rome. That must be the Catholic Church. I said, but hang on, it was written at the time for the people of the time, and who was occupying Rome at the time was the Roman oppressors. And they in fact talk about the sign of the beast. And if we have a look at the sign of the beast, 666, and you analyze that in terms of the values of that number, you actually come out with Nero Caesar, who was a terrible person as far as persecuting the Christians and the Jewish people of the time. So it's not speaking about people who are to come. It's talking about people of the time. Having said that, the message that comes through in the book of Revelation is an important one to listen to, because we need to listen to what Jesus has to say, or what St. John is telling us. We need to listen to what the opportunities are for us in eternity. So without complicating things, hopefully you have a wonderful day. We'll see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.